back to my channel. My name is Sarah Catterson. If you're new here, I am an online coach and I post all things food, fitness, workouts, education on my social media. So today's YouTube, I'm having a little bit of a slower morning, which I can't remember the last time I did that. So I'm up, I'm gonna make some pancakes, my protein pancakes, which if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I think I've posted like 4 reels at this stage how to make them, but it's my most asked question about how to make them. So we're going to make some pancakes this morning, and then I am going to get ready for the gym, go and do a gym session, and then I actually put up a Q&A on my Instagram asking you guys what you want to know about my dieting phase and just dieting questions in general, just because I am doing a dieting phase at the moment. I think I have about like 6 or 7 weeks left. It's something that I'm posting a lot on my Instagram, on my stories. So I just said I would do a larger Q&A here to help you guys as much as I can. Also, I would like to deeply apologize for my previous few YouTubes because fraud. It was only when I was watching Molly May's YouTube the other day and she came on and she was like, oh, I just got a new camera. I think she said got a new camera. And she showed that her camera was set on like a face blur. So she showed it blurred and then showed it not blurred. Oh my God, I've had the face blur setting on and I don't like it. I didn't realize I had it on. So that's why you'll very much see a lot more pores and texture and everything that's normal on my skin in this YouTube, because the last few YouTubes, complete face blur. And listen, if that's what someone wants to do in the YouTube, that's fine, but you'll know on my Instagram I don't use filters and don't agree with them. So yeah, I really do apologize, because if someone noticed that and was like, this gal goes on about not using filters and trying to embrace the skin, yet has a face filter on YouTube, doesn't align with my personal ethos. So yeah, really do apologize. As you can see, the skin is very much normal now. It actually is wild. Like, my nose looks like a nose now, whereas the last one, it did look blurred. It was only when she put it up on her YouTube I was like, maybe my camera has that setting. I'm like a 9-year-old woman with technology, so I really didn't know. So yeah, hopefully this is a bit better. But I am quite red-faced at the moment and quite pale. I'm avoiding putting on tan like the plague. I haven't put on face tan in maybe 2 months because I had a huge bout of acne that, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know. My acne came back tenfold at the start of the year, and it was just, if you have acne, you'll know what it does to your confidence and how it makes you feel. So I just stopped using anything on my face. So I'm very cautious about putting that on now. So we have a red face, but I'm not. I literally just put on my brows so I look a bit crazy because I'm going to the gym, and again, I'm not wearing makeup in the gym. I literally just have a little bit of concealer on one bad boy that we have here. But yeah, I'm not putting on makeup for the gym. It's not happening because I'm going to be on the bike, I'm going to be sweating, I'm going to be lifting weights, and yeah, I am not risking my skin just for a YouTube. So let's get into making my breakfast, because I'm starting to get very hangry. I've pushed out breakfast a bit too much this morning because I got up very early. So before I even make the mixture, I always put my pan on first so that it's quite hot. I put on 7. I like it to be quite hot, so when I put the pancake mixture on, she sticks. She sticks like glue. Honestly, I think I have these pancakes like 3 times a week. I'm just obsessed. I've had them for years. I can't go without them. So I use the cereal milk protein from My Protein. You can use whatever flavor you want. You can use whatever protein you want. If you use cereal milk flavor for pancakes, now I wouldn't use it for like oats. I use it for my overnight oats, but actual regular oats, I wouldn't. It would be probably a little bit too sweet. I don't know. I haven't tried. But for pancakes, I won't use any other flavor. And then the instant oats, again, I use it for My Protein. You can just blend up your oats if you want. I don't find blending up oats as good, I'll be honest. I think they're not as finely milled, which is what makes the pancake mixture the best, I think. Like, I think a 2.5 kg bag is like €10 and it lasts ages. I could be wrong with the pricing there. But yeah, it's very cheap. If you do want the exact ingredients of this, then pop over to my Instagram because I do have a full reel. But I use 40 grams of the protein, 40 grams of the instant oats, 40 grams of yogurt. Listen, if it's 45, 50 for the yogurt, I don't sweat about it. And then an egg. Baking powder, it's still on the scales, but I'm not weighing this. I just put in a little dash of Runu and some baking soda. Yeah, again, I don't weigh it. And then mix. Now, the thing about this is, I often get people say, oh, my mixture was so dry. Like, oh, I had to add loads of water. That's the issue. If you add loads of water, now if you're using a different protein, potentially you're gonna need more liquid. It's gonna come down to the protein powder. So if you're using a different powder from a different company, then maybe you're gonna need more liquid. But right now, I'll show you. This looks quite dry, but you just wanna keep mixing. You wanna keep mixing. So that it's fully, you want it like a thick pancake mixture. You don't want it really watery because then it's not going to make thick ass pancakes. See, if I had have added liquid there, it would have gone like water. See how liquidy they are? You just have to keep mixing. You can make obviously like 3, you can make 2 big ones, you can make smaller ones. I just like 5. As you can see, there's like a film underneath, so that's when I know it's flipping time. Fuck. Now that they're kind of coloured like that on this side, I'm just going to flip them once more time to get a bit more colour on the other side. So now, as you can see, they're not 100% cooked, but I'll turn off the heat because you don't want them to overcook. So you want them nice and soft and fluffy. So I'm actually now going to take the pan off the heat and just let them sit there for just like 60 more seconds. And they will be absolutely perfect. This is the result. Look how thick those pancakes are. So these are actually 45 grams of protein, just the pancakes alone. The whole thing is 62 grams of protein. But the pancakes are 400 calories for all of them and 42, what did I just say? Did I say 45? Did I say 42? One of them, whatever I said first. That is the amount of protein. So we are heading to the gym. I am literally just in a massive hoodie. I just want to start my session in a massive hoodie. It's actually lashing rain the last 2 days and quite cold. So I'm quite happy with this weather, I won't lie today. Do you know those days where you just want... So that's how I'm starting my session. I have my black effortless leggings on and then the black timeless sports bra underneath. So I'm gonna get pre-workout and get going. I would normally not have my hair curled going to the gym or down. So I'm gonna bring a clip to pop it up. But I actually just got my extensions back in yesterday, which I am so happy to have my extensions back in. I actually got it darker. A little bit darker, not as bleach blonde, and shorter, which I feel like looks way thicker and a lot more natural, which I'm very, very happy about. So let's get some pre-workout. And because it's raining, I'm actually not going to walk to the gym today. So I'm actually going to spend probably about an hour on the treadmill there just to get my steps boxed off for the day. And then do my session. So I'm bringing my pre-workout, which I'll sip on the treadmill. So it takes about 30 minutes for pre-workout or any caffeine to kick in. So if you're sipping your pre-workout on your first set of your workout, please don't. When I see people drinking a can of Monster during their session, wild behavior. It doesn't actually kick in for about half an hour. So I'll sip this on the treadmill when I'm walking and then get into my session. And then I'm gonna make this that I'll sip throughout my workout. Hi, do you wanna say hi? Oh, I'm obsessed with you. I love you so much. So I'm gonna bring this then with me and drink this then throughout my workout. No reasoning as to why I'm drinking it throughout my workout. It just tastes nice, and I'll have it during my workout rather than after. Sometimes I have it after. But it's my creatine, which I take every single day. I have it in the berry burst flavour. I just prefer getting it in the flavour, it's way nicer. I've actually started taking the Femme Feels Gut Balance. I'm not going to give any feedback yet because this is my first bag of it, for gut health, and then L-glutamine, which also helps with gut health. I've been taking L-glutamine and creatine for as long as I can remember. Creatine, just everyone needs to take creatine. If you're unsure as to why, I have so many videos on my Instagram. And I'm actually still really hungry, so I am going to have a squares bar for the gym. And yes, I'm obsessed with bread. I have quite a lot of bread in there. Oh, there you go. So yeah, I'm gonna have a squares bar before the gym because I'm quite ravenous today. So guys, yesterday didn't actually go to plan. Today is the next day because honestly I went to the gym and I just wasn't having a great session. I did my session, but I just wasn't in my session. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because Anto's away for the weekend and I'm on my own. Not that I'm dependent on Anto. You know, I have friends here, FaceTime, people at home, etc. Keep myself busy, but I mean, I have absolutely no shame in saying that we do pretty much everything together. So when I am on my own here, I can get very consumed with work. I'll work silly amount of hours on the weekend. You know, I'll just be sitting on Instagram, sitting on TikTok if I'm not out doing something. That yesterday in the gym, I just found myself so heavy in my head that I was like, I actually just won't be in a good headspace going back and recording a YouTube. So I actually put a block on my phone. Honestly, if anyone is self-employed or just needs to get off their phone, I highly recommend the, what's it called? Oh, Opal app, OPAL. And I basically just blocked all of social media off my phone yesterday and I went shopping. I mean, I didn't get a huge amount, but I just wanted to walk around the shops and I put in a podcast. Nothing educational, just a funny podcast, and I just really needed that. I've been told by a lot of external people that I need to input a lot more stress management, and it's also going to help with work productivity. I think if you work for yourself, you can understand you can get so consumed by constantly needing to educate yourself, upskill your knowledge, constantly work, constantly be on emails, constantly be on socials. And while that's all amazing, please don't get me wrong, like it's literally my job. I love to do it, but you do forget to do anything else outside of that. And unless it's like Anto on a Saturday being like, right, come on, we need to do something else that has no phones, no laptop, I can forget to do that. So yesterday was actually quite nice. I just kind of lost myself in the shops. I mean, I didn't really get much, but I just strolled around and that's just what I needed. I got up this morning, I made my pancakes again, and I deep cleaned this apartment. I mean, the air fryers. Sorry, if any of you guys have come from Instagram and you watch my recipes on Instagram, why is no one trolling me about the state of my air fryers? Vile. Now, in my defense, we always put tin foil in, and in any of my recipes I'll put tin foil in and then put the food in, so the food doesn't actually touch the sides. But still, violent how long I have not cleaned that in. I'll admit it. I'll admit it. Anyway, clean them. It took 2 seconds to clean. I think I've been putting it off because I'm like, oh, I'm just not going to get it all off now, and like I've gone too far. Cleaned within 2 seconds. So did that. Cleaned inside the microwave. You know, all those little jobs that you just don't want to do for ages. Well, we did them, and the place is sparkling. You could lick my walls. Probably not the walls, I didn't clean the walls, but everything else sparkling. So I'm just feeling like I've showered, I've fresh clothes on. I'm just feeling so much more myself. So yeah, The main reason why I wanted to make this video was to answer some dieting questions. So I popped up a question box on my Instagram the other day just saying I was going to record this YouTube, so pop in any kind of dieting questions and I can go through some. Now there's a lot here, so I'm going to try pick a few that have been coming up often so that'll hopefully help as many people as possible. But starting off with my own kind of update of my dieting phase. So I started at the very end of January. I've done a couple of YouTubes about my gaining phase. So if you are new here, I finished a gaining phase at the end of January. Why did I do my gaining phase? Well, I was very lean. I was maintaining a very lean physique for very long. I really wanted to focus on building as much muscle as possible. I wanted to put myself in a challenging position. And truthfully, from a health perspective, my body was not reacting well with being that lean. Hormone imbalances, I was feeling shit, low energy, constant niggles, and it wasn't that I was trying to maintain that lean physique. I think I had just got to that stage and being used to being that lean. Like, my clothes fit me, you know? I had adapted all my clothes to being that lean. And, you know, over the last 8 months, I've kind of had to get rid of a lot of clothes because I'm not going to get as lean as I was. So it's kind of like she's in the past, and we're creating like a new me, which is what I've wanted to do. And so that's what I did. I did 8 months of a gaining phase and I gained 11 kg. And with a gaining phase, you are going to gain a lot of muscle, of course, if you're hitting your protein, if you're progressively overloading in the gym, if you're being consistent, if you're focusing on your sleep, etc. But with that, you're inevitably going to gain body fat, which I did. So, you know, at the very end of a gaining phase, you're going to get to a stage of being uncomfortable. And that just comes part and parcel with really doing a gaining phase. So now I'm in a dieting phase. I know people, the amount of questions I get, and it's like, but why would you do a gaining phase to that point? Would you not just gain a little bit, get there, and then just stay there? You can, but you're not going to build as much muscle. So now my aim is I've built a lot of muscle, so to hold on to a lot more muscle, you'll lose an element of it. That's just going to happen. But now I'm focusing on losing some body fat to show the muscle that I've built. If I had just stopped halfway, I wouldn't have built as much muscle. Now I'm 5 weeks into my dieting phase, and if you follow me on Instagram, I've been doing daily was the aim. I wasn't very consistent with being daily, but every few days popping up my weight to show women that your weight is going to fluctuate every single day, that it's not going to be a linear phase. I started at 73.4 kg at the end of my gaining phase, and I'm now hitting about 70 kg, which I'm absolutely over the moon of. But a lot of people would be like, oh, well, that's not that much in 5 weeks. But I feel incredible. I've inevitably lost body fat. I'm starting to wear clothes that didn't really fit me. I'm, you know, more comfortable in clothes. I'm training in my sports bra. And I know I am trying to show women that you can be confident and comfortable at any stage, but I wasn't very comfortable at the very end of my gaining phase. And that's okay to say as well. Yeah, my weight has been massively fluctuating. It's been quite a hard deficit. Now, in those 5 weeks, I've went away for 1 weekend with friends to Amsterdam, went in a surplus there. That was okay. One of my best friends got engaged, so we went out that night, had a couple of drinks and some food. Now, I made some changes with the food and, you know, did the best that I could, but it was something that obviously engagement just happened out of the blue. I couldn't plan for it, and these things are going to happen. So that was that. I've probably had about, you know, in those 5 weeks, I probably had 3.5 solid weeks of dieting, because one weekend can kind of make one full week of maintenance. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm very happy with how things have gone so far. But I'm really just trying to show women that your weight will fluctuate. It won't go down every single day because of so many factors. So that's how my dieting phase is going. I have 7 weeks left, I think, but realistically 6 weeks, because one of my friends is coming over from Ireland for a weekend, and I've already planned that is not going to be in a deficit. So the reason why I'm dieting is because we're going away in May, and you don't have to diet for a holiday at all. But that's just been my goal, was to, you know, plan it in that phase and then go away being a little bit leaner, because I know when I go away, I'm going to gain about a kg or two, which is absolutely perfect. And then I'll maintain around there. So that's kind of the aim for me. So that's why I've put a date on it. The reason why you really should put a rough date on a dieting phase is because if you don't have a date, you know, if I was just dieting right now, then this weekend I might have said, oh, girls are going for drinks. I'm just, you know, I'm just gonna go out and, you know, we'll add another week on. And that can happen quite often, and your dieting phase goes from 8 weeks to 12 weeks to 16 weeks to 20 weeks, and you haven't really been dieting for 20 weeks. Whereas when you put a time frame on it, you have to be a little bit more rigid. And while that might sound like restrictive, no, it's that you don't want to diet for a very, very long time. So being a little bit more structured and, what is the word I'm trying to say? Disciplined. Being a little bit more disciplined for a period of time means you can get out of that dieting phase and go to dieting phase, and then go to maintenance, which is the aim. I'm not dieting for the rest of the year. So just want to get it done. So let's get into some dieting questions. Can you put muscle on in a dieting phase? So you absolutely can, but by no means as much as you can in maintenance, and by no means as much as you can in a surplus. It is much easier for a beginner to build muscle in a dieting phase, and for someone who has a lot more body fat or excess weight to lose, they will find it easier to build muscle in a dieting phase. If you've been going to the gym for a very long time, you're 6-7 years in your journey, then you're going to find it very, very difficult to build muscle in a dieting phase. But you can. Of course you can. If you're hitting your protein, if you are progressively overloading in the gym, you absolutely can. But is it going to be more difficult? Of course. Guys, I'm so sad. These bottles are the best things in the whole world. They're from Pennies or Primark in the UK. A lot of you are from the US, so I don't think you guys have that shop, but so cheap. They're like a tenner, 2 litre bottle, so handy. Got Anto one, got me one. Our 2 friends across the road, I actually went and bought them one because I was like, everyone needs to drink their water, guys. So I had one, and then when I was in the taxi yesterday going to the shopping centre, I left it in the taxi. So tough luck, Anto, you don't have one anymore. Why is counting macros important and not just calories? So at the end of the day, if you are in a dieting phase and you are within your calories and you're in a deficit, you'll lose weight. Regardless of if all those calories just come from carbs and not protein, you will lose weight if you're in a deficit of calories. So calories are king within a dieting phase. The reason why macros are so important is because, let's say me and my friend Sally, I am hitting my protein, focusing on hitting my fats and hitting my carbs within my deficit. Sally's not. She's low protein. Her fats and carbs are up and down, you know, and she's just hitting her calories. We're both going to lose weight if we're in a deficit, but I'm going to be able to build more muscle. My body composition is going to look much better than hers may, because I'm hitting my protein, so I'm going to be able to build more muscle. I am going to be able to recover better because I'm hitting my protein. Therefore, I'm going to be able to smash my sessions, lift heavier in my sessions, therefore be able to build more muscle. When we have more muscle and lose body fat, we're going to look leaner at a heavier weight. So I am going to look leaner and have more muscle, whereas my friend, she's not hitting her protein, so if she loses weight, she may look quote unquote skinny fat, is what a lot of people will say, because they don't have much muscle there. So when they lose body fat, they're not looking as lean, even though they've lost a lot of weight. So that's the difference of protein. With fats are very important for female hormones and for balancing your hormones, but also for satiety. I cannot tell you guys, honestly, I literally can't scream it from the rooftops enough. In the mornings for my dieting phase, I'm having peanut butter because I love a sweet breakfast. So I'll have my overnight oats with peanut butter, and then I'll have 2 squares of dark chocolate. Now I have the 85% or 99% dark chocolate. So yes, I'm having that. When I say I have my breakfast at like 11ish and I am not hungry until 3 or 4, I'm a horse. I could eat all day, every day. But having more fats in the morning means that you're going to be a lot more satiated throughout the day. If you have a breakfast high in protein and high in carbs with all fats, you're going to be ravenous. You're going to be snacking all day long. So fats are really important. A lot of people think, oh, fats are going to make me fat. No. And then carbs are just really important for energy levels. One person said, what was your diet? I'm on a strict salad diet and I'm not able to keep up with that. Well, you've just answered your own question. If you can't keep up with something, well, then you're not going to be able to see results because you're quite simply not going to be able to keep up with it. Therefore, you're only going to last a couple of weeks, give up, and then go back to the way you were. You need to find something that's sustainable. This morning I had my massive stack of pancakes that you saw me have yesterday. Then I had a chocolate protein mousse. Then I'm gonna have, to be honest, I've been eating a lot of the same meals because they hit my calories. They're nice meals, I enjoy them, and they're not boring at all. So during the day I have toast with egg whites scrambled, with some kimchi, just because I'm trying to focus on good health. So some kimchi, and it's actually really nice. Sorry, my battery was going, so we have moved position to put it on charge. So I've really been having the same kind of meal. So kimchi, just because I'm focusing on adding in some more fermented foods for gut health. And I'll have salad on the side with guacamole. So we've fats, carbs, protein. And then for dinner, literally every night, and I have Anto hooked as well, we just have a chicken burger with homemade chips, and it's just so good. So like I love it. I look forward to it every single night. And like with that, people are like, you're having a full bun? Like, yeah, it's not a skinny bun, it's just a burger bun with homemade chips, chicken burger. Tastes unreal. And then after that, I'll have my oats with fruit. I was having a chocolate bar every single night, but I've just found that using those calories for a big oat bowl fills me up way more, and then actually helps for my session the next morning. So just little changes like that I've made, but by no means am I cutting out any food. So you having a salad diet is probably, yes, you're going to lose weight because you're going to be in a massive deficit of calories, but you're going to be fucking miserable. I'm not miserable at all in this deficit. I actually have very little food focus, if any. I'm not craving any foods because I know if I want it, I can fit it into my calories. And that is why so many of my clients on my app and in my challenges have such a better relationship with food, because they know no food is off limits. They know that they can enjoy food, fitting it into their calories, and actually then having the education of what calories are means that they don't have to cut something out of their diet. If a client wants a Galaxy bar every single night, have it. Fit it in, enjoy it. There's no reason why you can't have it. So yeah, if you're doing something that you can't stick after a couple of weeks, you're just never going to stick it. It's like a meal plan, a boring meal plan. You're never going to stick at it. So why are you doing it? Because you're only going to fall off and then go back to the way you were and potentially gain more weight, because you're now ravenous and wanting to eat everything that you haven't allowed yourself. Therefore, you're going to gain a lot more weight back. How to deal with stress cravings. So I'll often get clients say to me, you know, I'm eating a lot more because I'm stressed. Well, you need to know that it's not the food that's the issue as such, it's the root cause. So what is causing you to be stressed? And a lot of people will say, well, Sarah, like, you know, I'm a mom of 3 kids, like I can't just not be stressed. Okay, well, can we put some measures in place? You know, if it's work, if it's home life, if it's something much bigger that potentially talking to someone or going to therapy is really going to help. It's looking at what can you help with the root cause that's then going to help with the stress management, which is then going to help with not turning to food to make you feel better. So you need to break that habit. When you were stressed at one point, you then went and ate food, which made that happy hormone, your endorphins rise, and you were like, okay, I feel a bit better now because I'm having this chocolate, you know, it's made me feel good. And now your body's like, right, fuck that, I'm stressed, I want to feel good, go to food. But then you're not feeling good after a while because you're like, oh, you know, I wanted to see changes and now I keep going overboard with food and that's upsetting me. And then it's that vicious cycle that comes in. So it's the stress management and the root cause of that. It's very hard to go into detail if it's not a client of mine because I don't know what's causing you the stress, but trying to work on that and putting stress management in place is going to help with that. What's a good calorie deficit starting point? Everyone is going to be completely different. So I'll often get asked, Sarah, what calories are you on when dieting? That's not going to help you. And I know people get pissed off about that because they're like, just tell me. I don't mind saying what calories I'm on, but I could tell you I'm on, so right now I'm on 1900 calories. A lot of my clients are 5'2", they're, you know, in their 40s or 50s, they're not able to get in as much sessions as I can, therefore their calories are going to be a little bit lower. So if they go to 1900, they're going to gain weight. There are some people that can do a lot more steps than me, that aren't sitting at the laptop all day, that are, you know, working on a farm, getting in major steps. They need 2200 calories and they're going to lose a lot of weight. So my calories could be too low for you, my calories could be too high for you. They're quite low for me at the moment. It's because I only have a few weeks left and then we're going to bring them back up. So everyone's calorie is going to be completely different. So there's no good calorie starting point. Find your maintenance and then bring down about 20%, start from there and then see after 2 weeks. A lot of people will say after a week or two, I'm not seeing results. Okay, well, have you been weighing all of your food? Have you actually been tracking your food? The weekends as well. All these little bits here and there. You know, I've had moms and we've kind of realized after a few weeks and not seeing results, and I'm like, any chance you're kind of having all, you know, the scraps of at the end of your kids' meals and you're picking here and there, and they're like, yeah, that could be an extra 500 calories a day. So it's really seeing, are you actually tracking your calories? So your calories will be done with your height, your weight, your age, your activity level, how many sessions you're doing, and your goal. So I am going to be having my own macro calculator in the next couple of weeks. We've had a lot of issues with that with the website. With the amount of people that were going onto it, it crashed. So I will have that sorted in the next couple of weeks. But my app, the SCC Fitness app, I have my own calculator on that, and you can get your calories, your macros, your protein, your fats, your carbs, and all of your meals built into that for you. But they are just a meal idea. I don't like meal plans, so I want everyone that's going onto the app just to make sure that they know they can use them as ideas, recipes, and then if they want, they can just use MyFitnessPal and eat the food that they want around it. But you will basically get all of your meals, shopping ideas, everything for your food with your calories and macros exactly personalized to you. What are you going to do after your dieting phase? Well, I'm going on holiday, so the plan is to maybe lose about a kg more than I would want. And then I'm going away because inevitably on holiday you're going to gain a couple of kg. And then I'm going to maintain. So I'm not going crazy lean or anything like that. I'm going to a point that I have muscle, that I'm strong, that I feel good. And then focus on maintenance and just focus on strength, feeling really good. I have a goal coming up at the end of the year that I want to work towards. I think a lot of people think, okay, well, you're done dieting now, so what's the plan now? You know, are you reverse dieting? Are you going back into a surplus? You know, I actually think the best ever phase is maintenance. Maintaining, enjoying a bit more food. If you gain a kg or two, grand. You can lose it again if you want. More social events. You know, I want to go out over summer and have random meals on a Friday, on a Saturday with friends, with Anto, and not be so consumed by calories. Not that I am right now, but in a dieting phase, you are making a lot better choices. So yeah, that's the plan for after dieting. No more dieting. How do you stop binge eating? Very gratefully, I don't have any issues with binge eating. I have a really good relationship with food. You see, there's overeating and binge eating. So I'll often have clients come to me and say, oh, I binged last night. And then we really talk about the situation, and they actually just went to a restaurant and they got a dessert and they were kind of full halfway through the dessert, but they finished their dessert anyway because they were like, oh, it was just so good, but I'll just get back to normal tomorrow. That would be overeating. So, you know, you're consciously having more calories than you need, or consciously have more calories than you're having at that moment for a deficit or maintenance, whatever phase you're in. And you're aware you're having more than you kind of need. We've all been at that phase, you know, having that extra bite of a donut when you're probably feeling a bit full. Christmas Day, we've all done it. But binge eating is a case of you are feeling physically sick. You can't eat anymore, but you are shoving it in because you're so scared of the next time you're going to eat, because you know you're going to restrict yourself. You wake up guilty, you're secret eating, you have one biscuit and then you can't control yourself. You have the whole packet even though you feel sick halfway through. That would be binge eating. So that would be something that I would work closely with someone that is specialized in that field, because that is something that there is so much help out there to get help with, and it shouldn't be something that should just be brushed underneath the carpet, because once you do get help with it, honestly, your life will absolutely change. A lot of the time, binge eating can come from trying to have really low calories when you can't sustain it, not fueling your body enough, calling food good and bad. So those foods that are bad, when you have them, you feel guilty, therefore you overeat on them when you do have them. Restricting food, cutting food out of your diet, these can all cause binge eating. So these are all things that need to be worked on so that you have a solid relationship with food and that you don't feel the need to binge. How badly can lack of sleep and high stress affect your dieting phase? So I actually put this up on my stories the other day, saying that my stress was quite high, sleep wasn't great, therefore, you know, my weight has been plateauing. Now, at the end of the day, if you're in a deficit, your weight will go down. There is a lot of people that are highly stressed and they actually don't eat because they're so stressed, and they lose a lot of weight, and it's not a good thing. So being stressed doesn't mean your body's going to hold on to body fat and your body's going to not lose weight. For me, I wasn't going over my calories, but for me, it meant that I wasn't sleeping great, and this can affect your scales for a period of time. You always pop into the videos, don't you? Because you're just a needy little doggo. As I said, it's not the stress and lack of sleep that causes you to hold on to weight long term, but for a lot of people with high stress, they will turn to food for stress. So they might actually overeat because of that. That's going to bring you into a surplus. When you're highly stressed, you can hold on to water weight, which is water retention, for a period of time. And that can then just fluctuate the scales as well as sleep. So these are reasons why you might plateau for a period of time, but the main reason why a lot of people gain weight because of stress would be because they're turning to food when stressed. So that's why it can affect it. But the scales can fluctuate if you're not sleeping enough and you're highly stressed for a period of time, but it will eventually go down. But focusing on your stress management, focusing on your sleep is going to make a massive difference to the scales coming down. How to get rid of the spare tire. I hear this so often. So it is physically impossible to lose weight in one specific area. Your body, you cannot, it's impossible to say, oh, I want to just lose weight on my stomach. I'm just going to focus on losing weight on my lower stomach. It's completely impossible. You can't do it. So of course you can focus on building more muscle in your arms if you train upper body a lot more. You can build a lot more muscle in your lower body if you train a lot more your lower body, but you can't lose body fat in one area. It'll come off all over your body if you're in a deficit. So this will come down to your genetics. For some people, they lose body fat around their core a lot quicker. For someone else, it could be around their back or their lower body. Everyone's completely different. For a lot of women, they are going to see their lower stomach be the last place for you to lose weight. The reason of this being is because where do we hold a child? Your body wants to hold on to some body fat around there because it's going to be protection for your child when you have a child. And that is why when a lot of women get extremely lean, they then lose their period because the body's basically saying, I can't hold on to a kid right now. It's okay. It's completely normal to have body fat around your lower stomach. But for people who do have excess body fat and want to lose some body fat, focusing on your overall deficit, being in a deficit consistently, losing body fat around your whole body is how you're going to lose body fat around your lower stomach. It could be the last place that you lose it. And, you know, I always say to clients, if I have a client and they're losing weight, they're getting lean, you know, they're starting to show muscle, but their lower stomach is where they're holding a little bit more body fat. I'll often say to them, we need to weigh up your values here. Do you want to completely cut out all social events? Not enjoy your food anymore, go to really low calories, be miserable, just for a little bit less body fat around your stomach? No. Is that really worth it? No. Because for some women, they have to go to that stage. For other women, they might see their lower stomach, you know, lean up a little bit quicker. That's just down to their genetics. It will all come down to being in a deficit over time. So if you're struggling to see weight loss around your stomach, it will be focusing on being in a deficit over a period of time. What's your go-to dessert? What a question. I love that. And it's in my dieting questions. Banoffee pie is my favorite dessert in the whole entire world. Do you ever go all out on your diet plan, like Domino's kind of night? No, I actually don't. And I know people might think, oh God, that's so strict. One, I couldn't think of anything worse than Domino's. Couldn't think of anything worse. For me, if I wanted like I don't know. This is going to piss people off, but I don't crave takeaways. And that's not because I'm into fitness. That's not because I'm like strict on my diet. It's because I'm not strict on my diet that I don't crave those things. So, you know, if I really wanted to fit in a pizza, I'm just going to make my own fit into my calories when I'm in my deficit. Or if I'm going out for, the thing is as well, I don't spend all year long in a deficit. So I know in a few weeks time, I won't diet for the rest of the year. So I'll be able to fit in a lot more pizzas, nights out, enjoy more food. And I still train hard and focus on my nutrition around it to still maintain. And that's why dieting phases aren't as difficult for me, because I only diet for a very small period of time. The reason why people can crave so much in their diet, of course, is really low calories, but because they're dieting all the time. So they don't have periods of time out of dieting. So they're constantly craving these foods because they feel like they're not allowed it. But if I was having a meal, I just wouldn't see it as an off-plan meal and go all out. The reason is because people think of cheat meals as, I'm gonna have a cheat meal. And they go completely nuts with this food. I couldn't think of anything worse than calling food a cheat. If someone cheats on their partner, it's pretty messed up. That's because it's deemed as a bad thing. Cheating on an exam, deemed as a bad thing. So you're now eating food thinking it's a bad thing. So now you're having a negative relationship with food. You see it as a bad thing. If you do want your big Dominoes, then just realize that that week you're just going to be at maintenance. It's just going to be a week that you're probably not going to see much results because your calories are going to go into a surplus, and just enjoy it. Enjoy the meal knowing that, okay, well that week you're just going to be in maintenance. And it stops the guilt. It just makes you more aware as to why you're not seeing changes that week, and then just get back to normal. If you're doing it every single week, you're not going to see results. So you need to realize that once in 12 weeks, it's going to be absolutely fine. When I am in a deficit, if I was to get a takeaway, I would probably get like an Indian. Well, I do. I normally get an Indian because you can just get rice, chicken tandoori. So it's not like a saucy curry that could be 1,000 calories. It's high in protein and still makes me feel like I'm having a little bit of a takeaway. How do you stay motivated when you've ticked all the boxes but you don't see scale progress? So that was me the last couple of weeks. My scales was not really moving at all, but I just continued. I ticked off boxes with steps, with food, with workouts, with cardio, and just continued to tick off the box. After a week and a half, it came down. Yes, it was plateauing. It was around ovulation, it was around my period. Like those were 2 times that they were kind of fluctuating. So I have to take that all into consideration. As I said, sleep and stress. So it's focusing on what you can do all around that. Then there was a stage that it was plateauing and was not moving and I was doing absolutely everything. Then you need to say, okay, well, what do we need to do here? So we brought down calories a little bit and then the ball started rolling again. But I was absolutely 100% tracking calories. That's the thing. I often get clients come to me and they'll say, I'm tracking calories, nothing's happening, let's bring down calories. But then I look and they're not tracking calories. So if we had brought them down and they're not even sticking to the ones that they're doing, then that's going to make it 10 times harder. So you need to actually assess. Has it been about a week and a half and things are not moving? Okay, well, let's maybe bring down calories a little bit or bring up output and see what we can do there. If a client isn't doing any cardio, I would probably like to add in a little bit of cardio rather than bring down food. You want to try keep food as high as you can. So there will come a time that it's like, okay, you know, it's been plateauing for quite a while now. We don't want to diet for ages, so you might need to make changes. Or if it's only been a week, just keep going, keep ticking off the boxes. And then if no changes are coming at all and you're literally doing everything, well, then you'll make changes to it. How can I be sure that I'm losing fat and not muscle? Hitting your protein every single day, focusing on progressive overload, logging your weights, trying to lift a little bit heavier or getting that extra rep in the gym, really pushing yourself in the gym sessions. Focusing on rest days, making sure you're taking rest days because your muscle cannot grow if you don't have enough rest there. And if you're in a deficit, you will lose a very small element of muscle, even if you're doing all of that. But it's just making sure you're ticking off all of that. How to manage hunger when you're meeting fiber and protein goals. So you've said you're hitting protein. Are you having it consistently throughout the day? So some people will have like 70 grams protein in the morning and then they're not having much protein during the day and then they're having the rest in the evening. Well, try space it out that it's like 30, 30, 30. So you're having enough throughout the day so it's filling you up. Maybe are you not having enough fats? As I mentioned earlier on in the video, that could be a game changer for you. Are you having enough volume in your foods? So that's going to be, you know, maybe changing from a banana to loads of berries because that's going to help with volume, which is going to fill you up for longer. Adding in veg to your dinners. Volume is going to help massively. Then you said you're also taking off fiber, which is brilliant. Do you have mealtime? Now, mealtimes are one that will work for some, not work for others. You could eat at certain times of the day and still be in surplus and gain weight. You could eat at certain times of the day, still not eat enough, and you're ravenous. But for me, mealtimes massively help because otherwise I'm kind of just snacking throughout the day. Whereas if I know I have my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, and then I have one snack and something after dinner, I'm not really thinking about food because I'm like, oh, it's only 1 o'clock. I'm not having my lunch for another hour and a half. And I'm not food focused then because I know the times I'm having my food. That can really help when you're in a dieting phase as well. But potentially if you're still ravenous and you're ticking off protein, fruit, veg, fiber, balanced meals, fats, adding more fats into your breakfast, then potentially your calories are just too low. But you will, guys, this is the thing. If you're in a deficit, you're eating lower calories than you're burning. You will have an element of hunger in a deficit. That's the whole reason why we don't want to be in a deficit for a long period of time. That's why you're losing weight, or that's how you're losing weight. So you will have an element of a little bit of hunger within a dieting phase. Guys, I'm going to leave this here because this is actually now going to be quite a long video, but what I can do is keep a lot more of those questions and do another video throughout some more questions because there is a lot more there. But hopefully I've kind of helped with a few topics because there was a lot of the same questions as well that came in. So I'm hoping that you guys have learned a little bit more about dieting and maybe can add some of those tips and tricks into your dieting phase. Listen, this is my own YouTube. I am very much going to plug my own app purely because there's so many people there saying, what calories should I be on? What kind of meals should I be having? My meals are boring, etc. If your meals are boring, well, then you're not going to stay on track. If you've no idea what calories, what macros, it can feel like a minefield. So my app, you literally get your workouts, of course, either gym or home, your calories, your macros, all of your meals built out for you, whether you're gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, vegetarian. You can dislike your food as well. So if you don't like mushrooms, put it in. You'll never get a meal with mushrooms. You can swap your meals as well. If you want to change something up that day, you can swap them. So essentially, yes, it's a full meal plan built for you, but I just don't like the word meal plan. So I've changed it to meal ideas so that you can use them as ideas. I have hundreds of recipes on the app as well that I consistently upload more. And then if you're just someone that prefers to use MyFitnessPal and eat your own meals, you can use them as recipes, take your calories and macros, put them into MyFitnessPal, and then use the two if you wish. Obviously then you have your full workouts, you can log your workouts, you can log your weights. All exercises have subtitles, voiceovers of me doing it, going through it with you. There is yoga, there is educational videos, there is a full female hormone section that's going to help with PCOS, perimenopause, menopause, digestion, bloating. There is a full pre and postnatal ebook section in there. There is a 44-page nutrition ebook that I've written. There is help with your protein, your fats, your carbs. There is so much on that app for $29.99 a month. It's absolutely wild. Listen, I know that's just, it's a plug for my own coaching, but so many women may actually not know about it and be struggling within their deficit. So there is so many women on that app that have seen insane changes because with the Facebook group, seeing all the women see changes is just absolutely incredible to see what you can achieve with $29.99 a month. So if you do need more help, of course you can sign up there. I'll pop the link below. But hopefully this has just helped you with a few more tips. And thank you so much for watching. I would very, very much appreciate a like and subscribe to my channel. And as always, pop down below what you would like to see within my videos and I will come back with more. Thank you so much for watching.